how's it going? My name's Lizzie. Sorry, I'm not wearing any makeup. I'm sick this weekend. I didn't do anything but lay around. If you haven't been following my channel, it's effects from the wildfire. I have severe allergies, so I got chest infection, bunch of shit. Basically, I look like poop and I feel like poop, but I'm here. Hi! Anyway, this is a therapy session with Tara. This week we are in, by the way, our parenting therapy session series. Each series is 4 weeks. We are in week 2. If you don't know what last week's was about, that will be up. Just look for spiritual... I forget what I title them until I type, but I think it's like therapy with tarot, something like that. But we did how to listen to what your kids are really saying, reading between the lines with your kids. This week is how to motivate your kids in general and how to boost them up with their talents in a healthy way. Next week, a little heads up, if you like these, we are doing how to get your kids to meet you halfway. And these are going to be a lot shorter because it is a parenting series. You know, it's right straight to the point. We have one more series till I end. The next series is the life coaching therapy. So let me know if you're liking these by hitting the like button. Let me know in the comments. Share away to anyone who might need this. Let's get some talking points. Which one should I? Let's do talking points for how to motivate your kids. Just not anything in particularly, specifically. I can speak normally. How do we motivate our chitlins, Spirit? I just picked the topic and the cards. They pick the talking points. I translate the message. We are collaborating, me and Spirit, to give you some therapy. Concisa, she who whispers secrets, confessions, confidant. Hannah, she who listens, understanding, witness, and compassion. So, our talking points is secrets. Motivate your kids with secrets. Interesting. Confessions and confidence. Understanding, witness, and compassion. So basically I'm saying, Spirit is saying, motivate your kids with bribery. A little bit in a healthy way. We'll get into it. Healthy way to bribe your kids. Healthy way to make it fun. Like, I'm going to tell you a secret. Only me and you can do this, okay? Kids like games. It's okay to do that, Spirit says. It's not necessarily lying or gossiping. If it gets your kid a B when they were a D average, or if it gets your kid on a soccer team and they really want to play, you know. Kids need motivation. That's why they have parents. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about, this would be like, let me tell you a secret. I'm going to surprise Daddy, so I need some help cleaning the house. Can you help me? Those kind of moments. Touch the sky. It's like giving your kid a rope into the adult life. When you sit with your kid and you're like, listen, Mommy, Daddy really needs to tell you something. Mommy is having a really bad work week. Everybody at the office is being very, very mean to me, and I just need a little bit of help around the house because Mommy's head is going to go off of their shoulders and just it'll make your kid laugh, but they really do honestly appreciate when you speak to them like little adults. Like, okay, Mommy, you're having a hard day. Let me help you. You will be surprised how resilient and how responsive kids are when their parents say, Mommy doesn't feel good. Oh no, Mommy, do you want me to get you some water? You know what I mean? That's like immediate, like, you told me a secret. How can I help you? Kids are so precious. So any way you can make them feel like they're being an adult, or they're really helping you out. They're really doing you a solid, and they're so special for doing it. And that's motivation. Like, you're so smart. Do you know kids your age can't even do what you're doing? Look at you taking the trash out. You are such an adult. Like, don't hurry. Don't grow up too fast, but you are so ahead. I'm so proud of you. Get some confidence, and they're going to take the trash out. I'm not like the other kids. I'm an adult. I can take the trash out myself. All these other kids out here need their parents to take the trash out. Not me. I take the trash out by myself. That kind of confidence. Whatever you need to believe to get the goddamn trash out of my kitchen. Hallelujah, God says. It's okay, parents. God is up there like, it worked. Look at him. Being responsible, doing the right thing. Parents, God's up there doing that. He's not judging you. Kids' imaginations are so wonderful. Like, you literally can tell them, you can't go outside and play right now because there's a T-Rex on the loose in the town and they might eat you. And they might actually believe it for a minute. I love little kids. They're so cute and precious. But as an adult, you can kind of feed into that. Don't do it in like, this is where you cross into a bad parent. When you lie to your kids to earn money or to make them do something that isn't to their benefit but yours. That's bad parenting. And I'm not saying, like, if you land this part, then you get to pay for your college, but your kid doesn't even want to play the part. Do it for mommy. Do it for daddy. That's a bad parent. It should always be, do you want to do this? Do you feel good about doing this? Do you feel right about doing this? I mean, they can't have a say in everything. Like, you have to go to school. Your kids can't be like, I just don't feel right about going to school, Mom. It feels wrong. Like, it feels wrong in my soul to go to school. I'm going to look at my kid and be like, I don't care. It feels right to me. I feel great about myself when you are at school all day. And until you're 18, I guess my okayness trumps yours. True story. Tell them, kids. Like, they will check you. They will use it back against you. So God is saying, be prepared. It's okay, like, but don't be, like, too harsh. Recognize when your kids have sense of humors. And as adults, we think they're just being snarky little shits. But really, they're like, come on, Mom. I really wouldn't do that. I was just being funny. Like, oh, it's not funny. Talking back to me is not funny. And look at their pitch and their tone. Like, oh, like the time you told me that no other kid can take the trash out but me. All my friends were taking the trash out, Mom. You lied to me. It's like they're not always jabbing you to hurt you. Sometimes they're just being... If you're a very funny person and you and your husband give it to each other like that, your kids are going to give it to you like that. Don't be so sensitive, God is saying. Recognize when they're being silly. But yes, there is a time and place for silly when they're getting yelled at. You know, kids sometimes try to lighten the mood. Like, my parents are mad at me, so maybe if I make them laugh, they won't yell at me so much. Recognize that as well. They're awkward. It's an awkward situation, and they're panicking. How do I make them not mad at me anymore? Let's say a joke. Oh, God, that went over like a fart in church. It's a learning process for them. All right, so let's go over to the understanding. It's kind of like, watch this. You know what? Have you ever done that with your kid? Like, I bet you think I'm too old to do that obstacle course. But I'm not. I can crush that obstacle course. In fact, I can get a better time than all of you kids, even though I'm old. Who thinks they can beat me on this obstacle course? All of your kids are going to be like, hey, I'm going to crush you, Mom. I'm going to crush you, Dad. You motivated them to get off their butt and go and be active by playfully making it a competition. That's a healthy way of doing it. Like, I'm going to be the first one to the top. Last one, there's a rotten egg. Just don't make the person feel like shit, because you know it's going to be one of your kids. Like, there's no last place. Technically, it's just a game. Next time, you'll be first. Don't promote sore losers, though. Not everybody can win. Your kid has to learn at some point. And at some point, they're going to have a bad day where they're tired and like, I wanted to be first. It doesn't mean you throw that out forever. Just like, okay, well, no more of that for a little while until they take a nap. That is not going to be an objective that's effective today. Judge your kid's mood. All right, let's talk about how do we motivate our kids in school? 'Cause let's face it, no kid wants to do frickin' homework. They love the games, but they don't like the practices. You know, they hate going to church. Like Sunday school, it's technically part of school. A lot of kids around where I grew up, they go to Sunday school. That's like school while your parents are sitting in church. Deer, trust in the support of the universe. And Shark, lead us a powerful, peaceful warrior. Kids need support in homework. Like, look at your kids. Like, the first thing they do, like, I'm never gonna get it. So stupid. That's honest to God, that's a middle school reaction. Like, when things are getting really, really stressful, your kids are gonna flip out like that. I don't care if they're cool, calm, and collective. If they don't really give a shit about grades, at some point between like the last year of elementary school to the first year of high school, there's going to be a moment of, fuck this, man, throw the book and just put their head down on the desk and cry. They get overwhelmed. They try to understand it. It didn't work. They try to understand it again. It doesn't work. They go to ask the teacher. Sometimes it doesn't work. They still don't get it. They ask their friend. They still don't get it. They pretend to get it. They're telling the teacher. They're telling their friend, oh, yeah. Oh, okay. But I still don't understand. So I'm going home. I'm doing my homework. Here you, the parents, get this full, because how come I can't get it? So many people have explained it to me. How come I can't get it? So this is when, oh my God, hiccups. You start hearing from your kid like, I don't understand it. I asked the teacher and she explained it and I still don't understand it. This is when you can be like, would you like me to get you a one-on-one tutor? They can come to the house. No one even has to know that you're getting help. If it's an embarrassment thing, you could ask one of your friends to come to the house and teach me. Maybe I can explain it to you. Or we could go and talk to your teacher together. A lot of the issues with kids not being motivated in school is just they're not understanding it, or they're having a complication with the teacher. Maybe they're feeling like the teacher or somebody in the class is belittling them, or they're just very bored with it. They can't connect to it in some way. Kids are very resilient. They're very good at learning, but a lot of people have learning disabilities just as children that will learn to grow out of them. But as children, they might need music while they take a test because it calms their nerves. Or it's the opposite. They need to be in a room by themselves because noise is very distracting. Or maybe they need a little bit more time because they have to read things 3 or 4 times. Like, there were people in my school with learning disorders that when we had a time test, they were always given more time because of their disability by the state. Like, anytime they did those yearly state tests, like maybe all of us got 45 minutes. They got like at least a half hour to an hour more sometimes because think about it. I read a question, I answer it. I read a question, I might have to think about it for a minute, and then I answer it. And I'm going down. But somebody with a learning disorder has to I'm starting to read. Oh, I got distracted. I have to go back. I'm starting to read. Oh, I got distracted. I need to go back. Oh, I'm starting to read. Read. I didn't retain anything I just read. I need to go back. So they're taking like, whereas an average person might take 30 seconds to 2 minutes on a single question. A person with a disability might take 2 to 5 minutes on a single question. So it wouldn't be fair to accurately time them compared to somebody who doesn't have a learning disorder. So getting your kids tested for those kinds of things, like I got to 3rd grade before anyone noticed I was dyslexic. Like nobody noticed I was writing the wrong way on the paper or not writing at all. I was just like drawing pictures on my homework. When they asked me to read in class, I would have an outburst. I'm like, no, I don't want to read your stupid book. Nobody cares about your stupid book. Because I couldn't read it, and I didn't want to stand up in front of my class who could read very well by 3rd grade and say, I don't know, I can't read that. As a kid, they're embarrassed. They don't have the capability to say something's wrong or to eat. I didn't know what dyslexia was. I didn't know that I was seeing things differently than everybody else. It took an adult to tell me that. So getting your kids tested, getting them diagnosed if they are struggling with school is vital. You know, this is going to help them so much. Like, say you have a kid who, you know, struggles with taking tests and they get approved to have music on and then they ace the test and your kid's going to be like, oh my God, Mom, they were right. Like, having some sound really helped me focus. Like, it gives them confidence. Like, all right, we figured this out. Now I can do anything. Now I know what my problem is. They don't have those keys and those tools to figure out what the problem is. They're leaning on you. So if you are noticing that your kid is struggling to understand, or they read something and they have to read it a couple times, or you have to say it a couple times before they understand it, there's no shame in that. That does not mean your kid is slow. It just means that your kid doesn't, one, know how to learn, like their learning style, or they might need a little bit more extra attention in the class than they're not getting. Or, and Noonie, are you okay? You never speak. Are you okay, my baby? See her up there on the cabinet? She never, like, I think I've heard her meow maybe 3 times in her whole life. That little meow, that was her. Are you okay? Are you looking for your mama? You thought she was up there? She's probably in the closet. Look, there's your mama. Guys, come here. Your baby's crying for you. She's Dell loves her mama. You looking for your mama? There she is. You see her? There's mama. Now you can rest. So cute. Alright, so lead as a powerful, peaceful warrior. So, a lot of things that happen to kids in school is because of bullying. So, this is when, as a parent, you can't be a hothead. Trust me when I tell you, I fucking hate bullies. God help that little kid. No, God help me not to pop a top, because they're all kids. They're all kids. Think they're all kids. Okay, it's not their fault that they have mean parents that teach them mean things, and that's not always the case. Most times, I find when I was working with kids and I'm like helping a parent address another parent of the bully, they're like, my kid is bullying you? That is horrible. Like, they're completely shocked and unaware. They're like, they don't act like that at home. Like, I'm going to whoop his ass. Like, they have no idea, and they don't support it at all. So don't come harsh at the parent, because 90% of the time they are literally unaware. These kids act like saints when they're around their parents. When their parents are away is when the dick comes out, okay? And in some situations, kids are bullies because their parents are fucking horrible bullies. So when you address them, you're going to be opening a can for that kid, not your kid. So if you address the parent and you say, hey, your kid's bullying my kid, and they're going to take that kid home like, look at you getting me in trouble at your school, whoop, 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 whoop. Keep that in mind. What if they have beating parents? I'm not saying don't say nothing, but this is how you check yourself from just yoking up that kid. You better fucking leave my kid alone! Because every parent, we all want to do that. Fuck that little shit. Just shake him like a rag doll. Make my kid cry. Like, I feel you. I'm a serious mama bear. I'm not even a mom. Like, I am a mom. My kids are in heaven, but, I get mad about my niece and nephew. If a little kid is mean to them, I'm like, my sister's like, I'm like, I know, they're little kids. I gotta stop it. Like, literally, this other little baby girl sassed. She didn't even, like, hit or do anything like that. They were baby yelling at each other. Like, Mariana was like, like, but not, like, animated, but not, like, mean. And this other girl was just like, like, just like a straight, I don't know what the fuck they were saying, but my niece was like, hey, guess what? The sun's out. Woo, we're having a great day. And she came out straight baby bitch. Straight baby bitch at my niece. I was like, I don't like that little girl's tone. And Mary looked at me and she went, pick me up. Like, I don't like it either. Be their protector. Like, Mary looked at me like, she's a bully. And I picked her right up and we walked away. I didn't yell at that baby. That's a baby boss in the making. Like, she does not yet know her power. And it's on, like, full bitch mode. And that's okay because she's a baby. Maybe she's just having a day. Like, I didn't get my nap today. Or maybe she was excited and then just came off baby bitch. I don't know. That was the funniest thing in my life because it, like, Mary's like, mama, like, babies do. And she was just like, like, what the, was the best way to do it. Like, if she could baby snap, I swear to God, she would have been like, go, this is my playground, bitch. And Mary would have been like, I said hi. You're rude. Mary is so sweet. But she's also super sketched out. This is Mary. She does not like people, like new people. She's like, she will dirty look you for like 20 minutes before she walks over and starts to make friends with you. She don't trust nobody. She's like me. Like, I don't know if I like you yet. No, baby, I you. I love her. But, yeah, this is about being that protector. Knowing your power as a parent. Like, you could yoke up that little kid and be like, if you ever touch my kid again, I will break your goddamn legs. And your kid, sure, it's going to be like, that's awesome. But at the same time, think about your kid's perspective. Like, you're going to go about your day. You're going to go tell your friends how you saved your kid and it was this big giant hero. And then your kid's going to be like, great, got the psycho parent in the school. How am I going to explain this one to my friends? There is a cause and effect to your actions. But being fiercely protective in the school space, like, if your kid's being bullied and you go to the school and you work the steps and they're not doing anything, then it's time to go to the parent. And if the parent doesn't do anything, you can go right to your local police station because bullying is a crime. You cannot threaten a kid. You cannot put your hands on another kid. If your kid is being hurt, mentally traumatized, and you went through the school and the school isn't doing anything and you went through the parents, the police will step in, they'll speak to the school, they'll speak to the parent, and sometimes just having the police show up at your house is enough for that parent to shut shit down. Like, alright, great, we have fucking cops showing up here, and you're like, you need to cut the shit out. and they finally step up as a parent. Like, sometimes you do have to do that, and I know it's like, I'm from the I'm from the hood, so like calling the cops is like a no-no. But when it comes to a bully situation, like when another kid is bullying your kid and nobody's doing nothing about it, you don't resort to that snitches gets. This is your fucking kid. Nobody's doing nothing. Pick the fucking phone up, grow up, be an adult. If someone wants to call you a goddamn snitch, go inside and play real fast. Then let the hood out. That's a grown-ass adult. You can yoke that motherfucker up. You can't yoke the kid up. And you can't yoke the parents up, because then you're just going to get in trouble. So, you know? It ain't nobody's business about anything when it comes to your kid. Like, I know that isn't going to be true for everywhere, but I know coming up in the hood, a lot of people don't ask the police for help, or don't go to the school, or don't get restraining orders because they feel like they're going to be looked at as like a cop caller or a snitch. But I don't give a fucking shit, bro. If my kid is unsafe, I don't give a fuck what you think about me. You can call me whatever the fuck you want. My kid will be safe. Nobody gonna bully my fucking kid. I will sit my happy ass in a desk right next to my kid all motherfucking day until the school does something before I call the cops. So the cops will be the last resort, but I will still fucking do it. Like, we as parents need to let that shit go. Like, I don't want to make it a bigger deal than it is. Well, maybe you should make it a bigger deal, because if you don't, you know, if your kid goes 4 years of high school being tormented, God forbid, what if they take their life, or they grow up with fucking horrible trauma because nobody cared enough to stop it in the first place? That's trauma to your kid. It's ruining your kid's life. Think about your kid before your image and what other people think. Point blank, period, about anything. Fuck them if they think you're being extra. Don't do shit to my kid. I'm the extra parent. You're aware of this. Keep your kid in their fucking lane, and you won't have to deal with me, will ya? Point blank, period. I want to be the parent in the school that the other parents are, like, not afraid to talk to, because I don't want to be an asshole. But if their kid is giving my kid shit, and the other parent figures out, what kid are you having problems with, and they say my kid's name, that person's gonna be like, oh fuck, how am I gonna make this right? Yep. They will know. When it comes to my kid, I do not play, and neither should you. There's not a rule I won't break. There's not a person I won't disappoint if it means my kid not being traumatized, not being hurt, not being spoken to like that. Don't tell my kid they're fucking worthless. Don't tell my kid they're not good enough. I will crush you. I will fucking crush you. Right, parents? Alright, priorities, change course, elevate, and surprise. So we're getting into their like hobbies and like sports. How do you motivate their ambitions, their talents? Gotta keep priorities in check. Like, your first priority is to be a kid, okay? We're not gonna make you work full time as a kid on anything. They should always go to school, or whatever school system you have, that is a priority. You should never allow your kid to quit, drop out of school once they get a certain age, like 16, 17, 18, it's their decision, but like, you should never be pushing your kid to end their school experience for a career. They're going to grow up. Think about from 18 to your age now. There's so much life there. Being a kid is so short. Being bored after school should be every kid's problem. They shouldn't be rushing to activity after activity after activity. They shouldn't be learning 9 languages and have 12 fucking stressful classes and just be an academic brain. Like, I'm sorry, it is fucking disgusting. As a society, I am all about knowledge. I'm all about teaching kids, but piano lessons, French, Italian, Spanish, history lessons, architecture, like the private schools, the high elite people, they want their kid to be bilingual. They want their kid to know a bunch of stuff, and that's totally awesome. But your kids are so wired, so tight. They're so high strung. They're so worried that, oh my God, if they sink between the A, like if they drop any more in grade, their whole life is going to be over. They are constantly worried about your disappointment and making you happy and fulfilling everything that you're stuffing on their schedule, that they have no time to figure out who they are, what they want, and what they like. So if you're jamming their schedule full of classes, that's just as bad as forcing your kid to work so that you have money. You're forcing and you're projecting a dream of what you think a perfect child is onto your child. That's not fair to your child, and that's not fair to you. You're putting all this, you had 9 o'clock you have piano, 10 o'clock you have French, 11 o'clock, like, disgusting. What happened to nap time and recess and sitting in a lunchroom and talking with kids their age? All these childhood actors who only talk to other kids or adults in the industry who grow up doing adult things at 15 years old that they have no business doing because that's all they're around. You're a bad parent if you allow that. Your kid can grow up and be a star at 18. What the fuck is the difference? Whether you put them in a movie at 2 years old or whether you give them acting lessons all the way through school, and then at 18, then you help them boost their... If you really want your kid to be an actor, why do you force them so hard as a kid? I want to know this. I know I'm going to piss off a lot of stage parents out there, but you are literally disgusting. I'm not talking about the stage parent, like not all stage parents. You know, you keep your kid in public school, you know, you don't make it their whole life. You don't harp on them if they don't win. You don't make it like, we need the money, we need this win. If you don't put that pressure on your kid, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the parents, like, you're going to take this part, it's going to change your life, you're going to take this movie, you're going to do this movie after that, and you're going to do this press, and meanwhile your kid's exhausted, popping pills left and right just to get through the day, and you don't give a shit, because you have the schedule 3 months in advance for your kid. That's a bad parent. You are wrong. Child Protective should take your kid in those situations. It's not, abuse isn't just physical. It isn't just mental. It is overworking your kid as well. Be mindful of that. Your kid needs time to be a kid, to run and chase flies and just all out. Don't jam-pack their schedules. That's not fair. However, on the opposite, it is very important to structure your kid. Keeping them in a sport every season is enough to keep them out of trouble and keep them busy, but not be overwhelming. Like, my mom had a great rule. 1 instrument and 1 sport per semester. That's all. Or like 1 club, 1 instrument, 1 sport. If you couldn't handle all 3, just picked 1. But she never let us overwhelm our plate. Because she said, think about it. When are you going to have time to do your homework? When are you going to have time to hang out with your friends? Are you going to get enough sleep? I don't have time to be driving you to all these places. You know, be realistic. I don't want you to try out for this team if you aren't going to be able to give them the time you say you're going to give them. My kitties are growling at me. They're like, hurry up with your video and play with us. But, so being a parent is also being mindful of how much they can handle. But it's like a dance. It's got to be a healthy, you've got to let them have responsibility, learn responsibility, have time for themselves, like free time to just play with whatever toy they want, have social time with kids their age, and have time with you. And, you know, it's hard. It's a hard balance, I know. Just tipping the scale too hard one way or the other is bad parenting. And everybody's balance is going to look different. You know, what in this house works for us isn't going to work for my neighbor, you know, so don't ever look left or look right. You got to figure out what's right for you and your kids. You need to change course, like, you have all these options, too many options, like, maybe you get involved in something, like, maybe you find out you did overpack your plate. What are some things that we can take off that are going to be beneficial to other things and aren't going to be sad? Like, teach your kid to weigh the options of if something isn't working for you, to find a better way around it. Or like, if your kid tries soccer and then the next season comes and they're like, I really didn't like soccer at all, don't force your kid to play soccer again. Be like, okay, well, maybe you want to try lacrosse this time? And your kid might be like, yeah, let's see about that. Like, talk to them. Do they like it? If they say no, don't force it. We as parents are like, well, give it a shot. I'm for that. If they're like halfway through the season, like, you signed up to do the season, you have to teach them to stick with it. I totally get it. But I'm like, before you sign up, if your kid's like, I really don't want to play, you should listen. Find them another avenue, because that one helps them see that you validate their feelings, that you care about their feelings, that you listen, and that you're there for them, and that you want their happiness. It's not just your plan, it's their life too. Kids need to feel like they're in control of their lives too. And then self-worth. This is about, like, a lot of kids try out for things and they don't make it, and then you go through this whole thing like, Mom, it's because I'm fat and I'm too slow or I'm too stupid, and they say all these horrible negative things. As a parent, you need to step in and correct that. And as a parent, at no time should you ever be scolding your kid if they didn't win, if they didn't make the team, if they didn't get a part. They're children. The whole world is going to reject them over and over and over again because they're children and they need to find their thing. You are their parent. This whole world, let them reject them. You don't reject them. You're okay, baby. You're going to be an amazing whatever. You're going to find your thing. You don't need the sport. You're not lazy, you're not fat, you're not stupid. You just haven't found your thing. That rejection is going to hurt. And it's going to cause a pain in your kid. Comfort it. Soothe it. Boost your kid back up so that they learn that rejection is okay. When kids learn that rejection is not okay by, like, look at I don't know if you've ever been at a school sports event, but it's so embarrassing for the player, like the actual kid, for the other teammates, for the coach, and all the other parents, when you have that one parent, like, come on! You're being slow. You should have scored 4 goals by now. You're fucking lazy. Wait till we fucking get home. There's always one heckling parent that's just horrible. Like, or at least when I was coming up. I don't think they can really get away with it as much out loud anymore, but there's always that parent that, they see you see them yoke their kid up to the car and you just see them yelling in their face because they lost the game or they didn't catch a ball. Like, that is not okay. Your kid is a child. This is not a professional league, okay? You're gonna win and you're gonna lose and you're gonna miss things and you're gonna knock it out of the park. Don't traumatize your kid for a stupid ass game that doesn't even fucking matter. You are a horrible person. I don't care if that hurts your feelings. If you are the parent at the sports game screaming at your child at any point in the game other than, go, oh my God, good job, it's okay, you're gonna be fine. Like, those things are perfectly acceptable. But if you're yelling negative things, you're making everybody uncomfortable. You're embarrassing your child. You're embarrassing yourself. And nobody respects you. And everybody in those bleachers are thinking you're a bad parent. I'm just the one here to tell you. And as parents, like, God help that. Like, I'm not judging anyone. Like, I can't tell anyone to step up and say anything. But God help that parent on my kid's team. I don't tolerate shit. I'm an earth angel. I will tell that motherfucker to sit down and I will put him in his place. That is a child. You're a child. You are disgusting and nobody wants to hear it. They're a loudmouth. They get away with being like that because society has allowed them to. When society stops and says, hey, shut your goddamn mouth and sit down, oh, yeah, you did wrong. So the next time they come to the park and they see me sitting in the bleachers, they aren't going to be yelling that shit. And I can't stop what happens at home, but if I think that kid is getting hurt, bet your fucking ass I will be calling, because I give a fuck about the kid, not about the parent. And that's how you should view in society. We need to break away about, oh, they're the parents, that's their business. And yes, that's true. But when you physically see and hear that horrible fucking shit, if you literally, I'm talking, like, you know what I mean, like, pulling them right off the field by their, like, come on, let's get out of here, you're so fucking embarrassing, I can't even stand to show my face because you lost this game, I'm gonna fuck you up when we get home, and nobody does nothing, you're all disgusting. That's a child. I don't give a fuck if it ain't your kid. Stand up for a child. I don't care if they're 16, if they're 17, or 18, that's still a child. You wanna be a bully, motherfucker? Okay. Bully them back. It's the only way they're gonna learn. Everyone's like, don't promote violence. Well, aren't they promoting violence by hurting their kid and nobody doing anything? I still see it in sports today. That's why I'm acknowledging it. I don't know where you live, but there's still horrible ass parents. The coaches don't say nothing. The teachers don't say nothing. None of the other parents see it. They come to sports practices with bruises on their face, their neck, their arms, their legs. Nobody says shit. You're wrong. You're wrong. And I can say that because I was a kid getting hurt and my whole fucking town did nothing. There is nothing you can say. There's no fucking excuse. I will never be one of them. And I hope all of you out there, if you see that shit, are never one of those people that sit silent and do nothing. You could change that kid's whole life by getting them out of a serious situation. Think about all the horrible shit in this world and all these people that go up and do these horrible things and shoot people. Maybe they were a kid that got beat in front of a whole town and nobody cared. Be the change you want to see in the world, and start by not being the parent that is that, and not allowing that parent on your kid's team or in your school. Surprising your kid is a good way to motivate them. Like if you make honor roll, I'll give you $100. Or if you win state, I'm gonna take you on a weekend trip. Like, something to earn is a great motivator for your kid. The best motivation for your kid is for people to see for them to see people love you and respect you in your community, and for you to be a good person, so they strive to be like you. Like, I want to be like my mom. I want to be like my dad. They have all these friends. Like, people care and respect them. Like, I want to grow up and be a respected person. That is a motivator. You know, being a good person in this world and having people acknowledging it, that does rub off on your kid. I'm not saying you should do things just for acknowledgement ever, but, you know, actions speak louder than words with your kids. I'm sorry I got a little preachy there, but it is baseball season, and I feel like baseball is like the worst sport for these horrible parent hecklers. Of all the sports, I wouldn't suspect baseball to be like that. It's not very physical. Like, I'm seeing some horrible shit, and I'm just so disgusted. And these are kids that are like 7, 8, and 9 years old. Like, you're a fucking disgrace. He's 7. This is T-ball. Go fuck yourself. I go, what the fuck? Why do they think that's okay to talk to their kid? Ugh, it just boggles me. Don't be that parent. Whatever you do, don't be that parent and you'll be fine. I love you guys. See you all next week for how to get your kids to meet you halfway. Which I feel like we kind of covered a little bit with the bribery. But I have a feeling it's more, I mean, Spirit picks the topics, but I feel like it's more big life moments, meeting you halfway, and meeting you halfway, and introducing a new man or woman, the big moments. So we're going to get into that next week. If this resonated, if you like it, please give me a thumbs up below. Share away to anyone who may need this. Talk to me in the comments. To all my ride or dies, I love you. Thank you for accepting the sicky hot mess this weekend. I do hope to get outside. It's still chilly. We're still coming down from... what happened was all that fire and smoke blotted out our sun a bit. So even though it's June, it's like... feels like fall weather as we're slowly working our way back. So I hope to be outside next weekend. My car is going into the shop on Friday, so I'm not sure if I'll have my car back until Monday or what's going on, but it's going to be very limiting on, doing any outside stuff unless I do it on Thursday. But I just drove my car around a little bit, and my tire sensor, I think I have a short, because nothing is physically wrong with my tire, but it keeps saying tire sensor, and it keeps reducing my speed down to, so it's really hard to pick up speed. My radio gets down low, and I'm just putting it in the shop, but they're so booked out. I tried to put it in this weekend. I couldn't. I gotta wait till next weekend, so I don't think I'm gonna risk driving. But if it's nice, I'll find somewhere around here and just walk and do a reading. I love being outside. I don't get much time outside where I live, so I'm kind of sad that all this smoke stuff, you're hindering the few short months of good weather that we get. Boo. But no one's fault. What can you do? I love you guys. See you soon. Toodaloo boo boos. Bye.